5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start. Madam Vice Chairman, the question of deficit financing has been raised in this House on several occasions. I am not financial or economic expert, but whatever common sense that I possess guides me in one direction, and it is this, that it would be unscientific and uneconomic to put a ceiling on deficit financing as such. I do not see any sanctity attached to a ceiling to be fixed, because if the production increases in the agricultural sector as well as in the industrial sector, there is no harm if deficit financing is resorted to. But if there is a shortfall in industrial or agricultural production, and even then, if purchasing power is pumped into the system, it may be that inflationary pressures might arise. But our past experience shows that even if we accept the various estimates that we made regarding the volume of deficit financing till today, which might have amounted to rupees 900 crores or more, in spite of a volume of expenditure of that nature, we do not see those pressures which can be called as alarming. In a developing economy, some rise in prices is going to be inevitable, because whenever you might plan to spend may not produce immediate economic results. A project might take time to give you dividends. In that process, it is possible that for a certain period of time there might be rise in prices. Our experience shows that the volume of deficit financing that was resorted to in the past has been absorbed in the economy, and if we step up our effort and increase production in the future, I do not see any necessity to put a ceiling on deficit financing as such. Now, the resources which are required for running the administration have to be raised by the state in one or two ways. One of the ways is that the money which is required for current expenditure may be raised by taxation. The money which is needed for purposes of capital expenditure may be raised by borrowing. But if both these sources do not give us sufficient money to implement our program, then the government has no alternative but to resort to deficit financing. I would therefore suggest that efforts should be made to mobilize the savings of the people for development. I have been saying that there is surplus purchasing power in the rural areas. As you are aware, 70% of the population of the country reside in villages. The biggest industry that we have got is agriculture, and nobody can deny the fact that the return for agricultural produce has certainly increased, which has resulted in an increased purchasing power in the rural areas, and which is now being spent on higher consumption. It is for the purpose of retaining consumption of food grains that I am suggesting that we must make every effort to remove that surplus purchasing power for the benefit of society as a whole. We may get market loans to the extent that we desire, but our only hope of increasing the rate of development in this country lies in our success of small savings, because unless we intensify our efforts in mobilizing the resources lying in the rural sector, that saving is likely to be dissipated. I would therefore urge upon the Finance Minister to intensify his efforts and step up our target for small savings. Now I will come to the question of taxation. The Finance Minister has made proposals for raising a further revenue of Rs 23 crores only, even though on current account there is a deficit of Rs 82 crores. He has not thought it wise to raise the entire amount by taxation. In that direction, he has adopted the wisest course, because the level of taxation that we have now reached is of such a nature that it may be that further raising of resources by taxation may hamper production, because the task of the finance minister is to evolve such a system of taxation that it does not hamper production, but in a way proves as an incentive. Now, for that purpose, let me take the case regarding his proposals for direct taxation. I will make a reference to the taxation on companies. The finance minister has been assailed on both sides. Neither my friends sitting out opposite nor the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry are satisfied. This very fact shows that the proposal of the finance minister is in the right direction. Those friends who opposed the withdrawal of the wealth tax on companies did not care to study the speech of the finance minister. If they had devoted certain time and attention, had the patience, they would have found in the budget speech itself that what he proposed was only absorbing the wealth tax on companies and the tax on excess dividend in his new proposals of taxing the companies. A great furore has been raised regarding doing away with the grossing of dividends.